Lindsay is a senior captain. Two hits for the Seahawks. A leadoff single by Florence. She's gunned down at second, trying to stretch it to a double. And then Nikki Vanelli follows her with her first collegiate at bat, and it's an opposite field home run. Amanda Riley, senior shortstop, grounds to her counterpart. And that's Kinsley Bluen, and throws over to first base. Andrea Rico with the putout. Line drive off the bat of Lauren Packer. She's catching in this game. She lines it out to the second baseman. So 2 hits in the inning, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. After a half inning, it's Salve Regina 1 and Olivet coming to bat. Welcome back to Mineola, Florida at the Athletic Complex. Making her debut for 2019 in the pitching circle is Julia Kurt, sophomore from North Dayton, Massachusetts. She has to follow up her classmate Andy Nelson, who threw a no-hitter in the season opener for the Seahawks, a 1-0 victory over Finlandia. Lauren Packer had the game's only run batted in. She drove in J.C. Garrigan on a single to right field. Garrigan came all the way around from first base after her single to right field. The only run of that game. Seahawks already have a run on the board here in this game, as freshman Nikki Vanelli homered it in her first collegiate at-bat. Kayla Blett, the batter. She's playing center field for the Comets, wearing number 20. And down on strikes for out number 1. Blett, a sophomore outfielder from Portage, Michigan. Portage Northern High School. Now batting is Andrea Rico, senior first baseman, St. Clair Shores, Lakeshore High School. Fouls off the first pitch from Kurt. In the air, in the infield. Riley under it at shortstop, just outside the pitcher's circle with the catch for out number 2. Brings up the shortstop, Kinsley Blewin. Where's number 1? Blewin, a senior from Bronson, Michigan. Kurt's pitch bounces in the dirt. I believe it's 3-0. And strike one right in there. 3-1 on Bluen. She bats with 2 outs and nobody on base. Olivet trailing 1-0. Line drive right up the middle. Just past the glove of Julia Kurt. First base hit off Seahawk pitching in 2019. And it was a solid rip up the middle. Brings up the designated player, Kaylee Clothier. She singles into left field. Back-to-back hits for the Comets. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs for the catcher, Jasmine Hildebrand. Hildebrand, a junior from Martin, Michigan. She swings at the first pitch through the left side. Single, throw home. One bounce. Packer unable to hold on to it. Run slides in safely. 3 straight base hits for the Comets. Ties this game at 1 apiece. And now a pair of runners in scoring position for Olivet. First pitch to Karina Marin, second baseman, is outside. Missing again outside for 2-0.
Take that ball from right, kid.
Extend, stay on top.
Marin from I'll get her dad's pronunciation of the hometown.
You're dipping.
Temecula. Marin from Temecula, California. And she's a freshman infielder for the Comets, Chaparral High School. 1-1 the score, bottom one. And ball 4 issued to Marin. Loads the bases. All this offense with 2 outs in the inning.
Hey, let's go, stay hot.
Bluen started with a 2-out single. Clothier followed with a single. Hildebrand drove in the first run with her single through the left side. Bases full of Comets. And the batter is Danielle Erickson, left fielder. Erickson also from California, freshman from San Diego. So Marin and Erickson coming from the West Coast. That ball ripped foul. Two-one count on Erickson. Line drive into the gap, left center. Reaches the fence. Throw in, it scores 2. Two-run double for Danielle Erickson. Makes the score 3-1 Olivet over Salve Regina. Salve Regina head coach Janelle Iaquinto draws her infield into the circle for a conversation. Kurt got a strikeout on the first batter she faced, Caleb Lett. Pop up to shortstop Amanda Riley from the bat of Andrea Rico. And then 3 straight base hits. Produced the first run. And after a walk low to the bases, Erickson's double brought in 2 more for the Comets. They lead 3-1. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Fouled out of play to the right side. Gracie Boyle, junior from Richland, Michigan, is Kurt's counterpart in the pitching circle. She lines that to right field. Tough sun out there. Karina Bushy gets it in quickly, but 2-run score on the single to right field by Boyle. Score is now 5-1. All the runs are earned. 5 base hits and a walk have produced 5 runs for the Comets here in the first. They just lost the game prior to this, 6-3. That's a pop up to shortstop. Riley back on the grass. Gets it for the final out. So all 9 Comets in the batting order get to the plate in the first inning against Julia Kurt. She allows 5 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors and 1 left after 1 complete from Mineola, Florida. A little bit warmer than Michigan. It's 5-1 Olivet. Guzmano, Dupre, and Oliveira due up for the Seahawks in the top of the second inning. Third baseman, second baseman, and first baseman, Ali Guzmano Jr. from Orange, Connecticut. Bats against Gracie Boyle. Bounces the first pitch off the plate for a foul. Guzmano put the ball in the air twice in the opener. Flew out to left field and popped to third base. 0 for 2. Checks that swing. Bounces it back to Boyle. Over to Rico for the out. Brings up freshman Kendall Dupre from Cranston, Rhode Island, Bayview Academy, playing second base for the Seahawks in game 2 on Sunday. Member roster for the Seahawks with the starting lineup in game 2. 16 different players have seen some action, and perhaps 17 if Courtney Lotta comes in relief at any point this game. She's scheduled for perhaps an inning or 2, or maybe more. And then that happens, then all 17 Seahawks will have played on day 1. That is by design for Seahawk head coach Janelle Iaquinto. 1 out, bases empty for Dupre. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Bases empty. Brings up Ali Oliveira playing first base. Oliveira, also from Rhode Island, Smithfield High School. So 3 freshmen made their debut in the season opening win over Finlandia. 1-0 victory, no-hitter for Annie Nelson. Freshmen making their debut in that game were Emily Angel. Grounded out short, tough hop. And Oliveira digs it down to first, reaches safely. She'll reach on an E4. Keeps this inning alive. Brings up Sam Farrell, 3rd consecutive freshman to come to the plate for the Seahawks in this inning. Nikki Vanelli debuted in inning number 1, top half of the first here, and homered to right center. And that's going to be a shot because not only is the distance there, but the height of the fences too. Farrell fouls that off. Sam Farrell is a freshman from Melrose, Massachusetts. Infielder by trade. She is in the designated player position for today's game, so she's in the batting lineup. Essentially batting for Julia Kurt. The designated player in softball can bat for any position. Doesn't have to be the pitcher as it is in baseball. That's bunted on the ground. And Farrell will reach safely. An infield bunt single for the speedy freshman. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. The Comets did their damage all with 2 outs. Kurt retired the first 2 Comets, Blett and Rico, before they reached her for 5 hits and 5 runs. 5-1 the score, top 2. Seahawks batting with 2 outs, 2 on. Brings up junior Karina Bushy. Bushy from Waterford, Connecticut, swings and misses at the first pitch from Boyle. Bounces that in front of the plate. Boyle fields. Good strong throw over to Rico for the out. 1-3 on the play. And the side retired in the top half of the second. No runs on 1 hit. No errors. 2 left. After 1.5, it's 5-1 Olivet. Welcome back to Mineola in Florida at the Mineola Athletic Complex. Game 2 of the 2019 season for Salve Regina. Seahawks trailing in the bottom of the second inning with Olivet batting. Ahead 5-1. Top of the order for the Comets. Kayla Blett, she struck out swinging against Julia Kurt. One-on-one count on Blett. Looks to offer, doesn't swing, and gets a called strike. 1-2. The full count pitch is up high for ball 4. Leadoff batter aboard for the Comets. Brings up first baseman Andrea Rico. She popped to shortstop Amanda Riley in the first inning. 2 quick outs that Kurt retired for the Comets. They're going to get a rundown. It's going to turn into a stolen base for Kayla Blett. She was caught in between. Rico lines it into center field for a run-scoring single, making the score 6-1. Bluin started the first inning rally with a 2-out single. Kurt's pitch bounces in the dirt, blocked by Lauren Packer, the catcher. In the air, right center. On the run for it is Lindsay Florent and Karina Bushy. It's over the fence. Home run. Same spot as Nikki Vanelli's home run. This one's a 2-run blast off the bat of Kinsley Bluin. She's 2 for 2, 2 runs scored, and now 2 runs batted in. Nobody out in the second as the Comets bat. Eight to 1 the score. Base is empty. Brings up Kaylee Clothier, designated player. She singled in the first. Swing and a miss for a strike. My thanks to Olivet SID Jeff Henson, who's providing the live stats. A fellow Presto client, able to get those stats published on both Olivet's website and the Salve Regina website. Three-one count now on Clothier. She singled and scored in the first. Couldn't pull the trigger there. Strike two, full count. That's lined into left center. Quickly throwing it back in is center fielder Lindsay Florent. Single for Clothier. She's 2 for 2. Iaquinto reaches the pitching circle, calming her Seahawk down. New pitcher will be sophomore Courtney Lotta from Lowell, Massachusetts. She'll take her warm-up tosses. And we'll take a break here from Mineola Athletic Complex. Sophomore Courtney Lotta making her 2019 debut in the pitching circle, replacing starter Julia Kurt. Kurt is eligible to return to the pitching circle. In softball, they have a re-entry rule. Even though she has left the field, she can return to that spot. Starters can return. Players entering from the bench can only enter once, and then after they leave, they're done. Seahawks won 1-0 over Finlandia in the season opener. A no-hitter from pitcher Andy Nelson. 4 Salve Regina sophomores comprise the pitching staff for the Seahawks. Julia Kurt, J.C. Garrigan, Andy Nelson, and Courtney Lotta. That pitch in the dirt gets away, allows Clothier to go down to second base. 2-2 count on Hildebrand. She singled and scored in the first. And that's to left field. Vanelli gives chase, but it runs out of room as it's out of play. Amanda Riley was over there as well. Seen Nikki Vanelli do a lot of work at third base at the Seahawk practices. She's getting the start here in left field, showing some versatility for Coach Iaquinto in maneuvering players in different positions. Full count now on Hildebrand. To the left side, bounces through. Base hit for Clothier. Brings up Karina Marin. Walked and scored in the first. First pitch in there, a called strike. Her father called a change. He was right. Eight runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Comets. Bounce back to Lotta. Gets the out at first. Hildebrand moves down to second. Clothier stays at third. 1-3 on the play. And that's the first out. Danielle Erickson due up at the plate. She doubled in 2 runs in the first inning. And a pinch runner for the Comets. For Hildebrand at second base, it'll be Cassidy Zemickley, a sophomore from Sanford, Michigan. So Zemickley pinch running here in the bottom of the second inning. The batter is Danielle Erickson, San Diego, California. Doubled in her first at-bat against Julia Kurt, facing Courtney Lotta for the first time. And she's in the hole, 0-2. Runs on second and third. That's bounce foul. Guzmano picks it up over to Courtney Lotta. Two more runs score for the Comets on a double to left field by Danielle Erickson, her second 2-bagger of the day. Brings home Clothier and Zemickley. Still just 1 out. 10-1 the score. 10 runs on 10 hits, 1 error for the Comets. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Seahawks. Gracie Boyle, the pitcher, benefiting from this offensive output by her teammates has contributed a first inning single. Batting for the second time. One out runner on second. To right field. Bushy in there, a few steps. Makes the grab for out number 2. Erickson remains at second. Brings up Peyton Watson. She popped a short to end the first inning. Lotta looks to get the same result here. Foul to the backstop. 0-1. Packer relays the sign from Janelle Iquinto to Courtney Lotta. She delivers a high pitch for a 1-1 count on Watson. Watson playing right field for Olivet. That's fouled off the third base fencing. 10-1 the score. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Olivet plated 5 in the first, and thus far 5 in the second. Kinsley Bluen had a 2-run homer. Danielle Erickson had her second double in as many innings. Courtney Lotta ahead in this battle with Paige Watson looking to finish it and get the Seahawks back to the plate. That's a bouncer back to Lotta. Overhand throw to Ali Oliveira at first for the final out of the second inning. But the home team scores 5 runs again on 5 hits. No errors, 1 left. After 2 complete from Mineola, it is Olivet 10 and Salve Regina 1. Senior center fielder Lindsey Florent leading off for the Seahawks here in the top half of the third. Seahawks trailing by 9, 10-1. We'll give a shout out again to Jacob Florent, the younger brother of Lindsay, who's a professional broadcaster, joining us on several Seahawk broadcasts during the 2018 season. His sister is a senior, so she's in her 4th and final year as a Seahawk. We're going to take a break from the commentating and go shoot some pictures.
Like them both. It'd be fun. Yeah. Well, it's not my choice. Yeah.
Nikki Vanelli gets her second base hit of the evening. Single to left center. Seahawks have a runner on first with one out. And Riley drives that pitch to center field. Blett with the catch. 2 down for Lauren Packer. Lauren Packer reaches. With the 5th Seahawk hit of the day. Runners at the corners for Ali Guzmano. And Packer caught stealing to end the top of the 3rd. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 3rd with Olivet leading 10-1. Bottom of the 3rd inning in the Mineola Athletic Complex, field number 1. It has lights. I'm not sure of the output of these lights, but we are approaching 7:30 on Sunday, March 10. And I know the Comets have already had a lights out situation in one contest down here in Florida. They are 1-5 on the season, just falling 6-3 to Keene State University in a 4 o'clock game. This game began at 6:30. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, 10-1 the score. Olivet ahead. The batter is the top of the order, Caleb Lett. Lett is 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the first against Julia Kurt. Faced Kurt again in the second inning. Led off with a walk, stole a base, scored. And the lights are on here at field 1. This game has seen a pair of home runs, one for each side. Nikki Vanelli with an opposite field blast for the Seahawks in the top half of the first inning after 1 out. Solo home run. And then Andrea Rico, who is coming to the plate now after Blett pops up to second baseman Kendall Dunphy. 1 down, bases empty for Rico. Correction, it was Kinsley Bluen that had the home run, a 2-run homer that brought Rico home. Rico 1 for 2, popped to shortstop and singled and scored in the second. She bats with 1 out and the base is empty here. No count on Andrea Rico. Taken all the way for a strike. Wasn't to her satisfaction, so she let it go by. 3-1. Foul to the backstop. Full count. Reset in the Seahawk defense. A lot of the pitcher, Packer catcher. Guzmano at third, Riley at short, Dupre at second, Oliveira at first. Outfield left to right, Farrell, Florent, and Bushy. Grounded at Dupre. She stays low on it. Over to Oliveira. Out number 2, 4-3 on the play. Base is empty. But Bluen, who's done the most damage, singled and scored in the first. 2-run homer in the second. Started the first inning rally. The Comets have scored 5 runs in each of the first 2 innings. They did all their damage in the first inning after 2 were out. First 5 batters of the second inning scored before any outs were recorded. Lotta looking to get a 1-2-3 inning here. In the air, right field, Bushy chasing it over her head. It reaches the fence on a few bounces. Throw in, trying to get a triple out of it. And we have one umpire calling it out. He was closer. Surprisingly, both umpires were very close to the play. The home plate umpire was the closest one. He makes the out call, so it's a double for Bluen. She's got a single, a home run, and a double. She was out trying to stretch it to a triple. Play goes from Bushy. 9-6-5. Yeah, Bushy to Riley to Guzmano for the out. 9-6-5 on the play. And the side is retired. Almost a 1-2-3. There was a base hit. So we'll go to the top of the fourth. Score remains 10-1. Now catching for the Comets is Danielle McCoy. She replaces Jasmine Hildebrand, who finished 2 for 2 on the day, a pair of singles, scored twice, actually scored once, and she was pinch run for by Cassidy Zemickley, who scored in her place in the bottom of the second. So defensively, Danielle McCoy in the top of the fourth. First batter is Ali Guzmano, who was at the plate when Packer was thrown out stealing. She bounces to her counterpart at third base. And that is Dominique McKillop. First pitch swinging is Kendall Dupre. She fouls it out of play. We'll have to ask third baseman Dominique McKillop if she has any relatives that are related to Salve McKillops, former president, Sister Lucille McKillop, as Dupre fouls another one out of play. Dominique is a senior from Imlay City. Oh, 0-2 count on Dupre. Boyle bounces that in the dirt for a 1-2 count. Top of the fourth, 1 out, bases empty. 10-1 the score in favor of the Comets. High and inside. 2-2 on Dupre. Dupre's made a couple of nice plays at second base for the Seahawks. Both last inning. Lifts that in the air. It's going to drift out of play on the left side. Count remains 2-2. Same thing, different pitch. Dupre battling here against Gracie Boyle. 2-2 the count. 1 out, bases empty. And called strike 3. Second K for Boyle. Both of them have been Dupre. First time was swinging, this time looking. 2 down, bases empty. Seahawk first base coach is Jen Rosa. She's in her 3rd season as an assistant coach with Janelle Iaquinto. Her third full season as head coach. Ali Oliveira at the plate. Reach on an infield error. On deck is Sam Farrell. If Oliveira can extend the inning.
They left on Friday. Because they played their last game was, let's see, our last game was on Thursday. Yeah, their last game was Friday. So they were there Friday to Saturday. They lost their first game yesterday. Should have won it. Yeah. First base had 4.
Oliveira's grounder up the middle, grabbed by Bluen. Over to first base, Rico.
That was only their
6-3 the out. A 1-2-3 inning for Boyle. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. After 3.5, it's 10-1 Olivet. Ten-1 the score as Olivet bats in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Comet scored 5 times in each of the first 2. Got blanked in the third. Leading off against Courtney Lotta is Kaylee Clothier, the designated player, a pair of singles, and a pair of runs scored. Seahawks have a pair of games on Monday in Winter Haven at the Diamondplex Softball Complex. Meredith at 10 a.m., followed by Wooster of Ohio at 12:15. 4 quick games on the Florida schedule, and then a day off on Tuesday. We'll be bringing you the action from both softball games tomorrow, as there are no conflicts with Salve Regina baseball. The Seahawks played today against Pittsburgh Greensburg. That was a 1 o'clock start. That was a 12-9 final for Pitt Greensburg. That's grounded to Amanda Riley at short. She throws over to Oliveira at first for the first out of the fourth inning. 6-3 on the play. One down, base is empty for the new catcher, Danielle McCoy. McCoy came in defensively in the top half of the fourth. She lifts the first pitch up to shallow center field. And it will go down as the first error for the Seahawks in 2019. One out, one on for Karina Marin, the second baseman. 0 for 1. Walked and scored in the first, and then bounced back to Courtney Lotta in the second. That's a short pop. Reaches the outfield grass for a base hit. Marin's aboard along with Danielle McCoy. Runners at first and second. For Danielle Erickson. Erickson has 2 trips to the plate in this game, and both of them are doubles, scoring runs for the Comets. Fouls that out of play behind the backstop. One out, runners at first and second for Olivet. They lead 10-1. Salve had a brief 1-0 lead on Nikki Vanelli's solo blast in the top half of the first inning. After Julia Kirk got the first 2 Comets retired, Olivet erupted for 5 runs in the first, 5 more in the second. Going to have a pinch runner for Marin at first base. Second pinch runner of the game for the Comets. It's Ashley Moss, freshman from Benton Harbor. So Cassidy Zemickley pinch ran in the second inning. Hildebrand went back into catch, and then she was lifted for Danielle McCoy. That's lifted foul and out of play on the right side. One out, runners at first and second. McCoy at second base, Moss at first base. Danielle Erickson at the plate. That's into shallow, left center. And Lindsay Florent makes the catch for out number 2. It carried. Didn't sound as hard hit as it traveled. But that's out number 2. Runners remaining at first and second. Gracie Boyle will not bat, and she will have a pinch hitter in for her. It's Jordan Fox, a sophomore from Mount Pleasant. Fox, a left-handed batter. We can ask Olivet SID Jeff Henson if Boyle will return to the pitcher's circle or if she will get a replacement there. Most likely will return to the pitcher's circle. So Jordan Fox at the plate, pinch hitting for Gracie Boyle. Bottom of the fourth, the Comets leading 10-1. Scoring 5 times in each of the first 2 innings. Lotta looking to keep them at just that offensive output and give her Seahawks a chance to bat in the top of the 5th and avoid a mercy ruling as they trail by 9. They need to score at least 2 runs in the top of the 5th. 2 strikes on Fox. 1-2 count. McCoy at second, Moss at first. Fox has the count go even, 2-2. This is Salve Regina softball coming to you from Mineola Athletic Complex in Mineola, Florida. Day 1 of Seahawks Florida trip. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second Comet to go down on K's today. The first one was the first batter of the game. Now we go to the top of the 5th. Seahawks need to score at least 2 to keep this game going. Sam Farrell will lead it off for the Seahawks here in the top half of the 5th. We'll step aside from commentating to get some photography. Farrell reaches safely for the second time today. She's at first base and to bring up Karina Bushy. hearing Karina Bushy remarking on her hobble back to the plate after her foul ball. I got new shoes. She's breaking them in. Or maybe they're breaking her in. Farrell on first. 2 for 2. Pair of infield bunts. Bushy fighting off some 2-strike pitches. Goes to first base. Unassisted there by Rico. Farrell moves to second. One down for Lindsay Florent. First pitch, a ball low. Florent 1 for 2. She singled in the first, was cut down trying to stretch it to a double. Vanelli followed that with a solo blast to right center. That was an excuse me check swing. Fouled off. Picked up by McKillop at third. McCoy behind the plate. Boyle in the pitcher's circle. A 10-1 lead, 1 out, runner on second. That's in the air. Grabbed by second baseman, trying to get the double play at second, but safe is the call for Farrell. 2 outs. Brings up Nikki Vanelli. 2 for 2, a home run and a single. Vanelli with a swing and a miss on the first pitch. Bends down to pick up some dirt. Reset herself in the batter's box. And get another pitch to look at. To third. McKillop over to Rico. Side retired on the 5-3 force out. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We are complete after 4.5 innings here at Mineola Athletic Complex. And the Olivet Comets finish with a 5-1 victory. A 10-1 victory. 5 runs in the first, 5 runs in the second. Overcoming the early 1-0 deficit after Nikki Vanelli's home run. And we have a 10-1 final here in the Seahawks' second game of their Florida trip. 10 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors for Olivet. 1 run on 5 hits. 6 hits for the Seahawks. Counting Farrell's single in the 5th. Both Vanelli and Farrell finished with 2 hits apiece in this contest. And the Seahawks fall to 1-1 on the season. Losing pitcher is Julia Kurt. She's 0-1 on the year. And the winning pitcher is Gracie Boyle for the Comets. Her record is 2-1 as the Comets improve to 2-5 overall. Thanks again to Jeff Henson, the Olivet SID, for providing live stats and updates throughout the game. And also to our viewers at home for getting with us for 2 games today. A 1-0 win, a no-hitter for Annie Nelson in the 2 o'clock game, and a 10-1 loss here. We will be back with the Seahawks tomorrow from Winter Haven as the Seahawks play Meredith College and Worcester of Ohio.